Hey crazy friends.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be talking about advice. You know, when you head out on the road, whether you're full-time RVing, part-time RVing, or especially if you're RVing with a big family, you need lots of advice.
Lots.
But the problem with advice is the old adage, free advice is worth what you pay for it. But you know what? I really don't think that's true.
No.
I really feel like God has given us a community of faith, a community of RVers, a community of YouTubers that can help us not make mistakes that others have made. The real truth is advice is only as good as how much you trust in it. And unfortunately, we didn't take all the advice that we got. And so today we're going to talk about the #1 piece of advice that we ignored and shouldn't have. All right, so the moral of today's video is don't ignore good advice.
Yeah.
And the truth is we really didn't set out to ignore it. You know, there's some things that you hear when you're asking for advice and you go, yeah, that's not really gonna work for our family. There's other things you hear and you go, oh, that's really good, and you just lose it in the pace of things. And that's exactly what happened to us. See, as we were planning to set out on this grand adventure, we started asking everybody that had done this, whether they had RV'd for a week, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, whether they'd done it with a small family, a big family, what advice would you give to us as we set out on this full-time
Everybody
adventure?
we could find.
Anybody. And one of the pieces of advice that we got over and over again, especially from families that had done it for longer, was don't treat it like a vacation. You have to control your pace. And there's so much truth in that. If you're taking an RV out for a weekend, you want to cram in everything you can.
Yeah.
Even if for a week, you want to try to cram in everything you can. But once you really go past it, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, or 12 months, you can't keep that pace up the whole time. And we kind of forgot that.
Yeah.
See, in the first couple of months, it really didn't matter. We launched out in the middle of COVID, and so we went like 3 days, and then we were sheltered in place for 2 months.
Right.
And so it didn't matter. And so as soon as that 2 months was up and things started to open up again, I think we were just so hungry to get back on the road and doing something that we
we launched,
we took
literally.
off like a rocket. I mean, I'm talking about full tilt, 110 miles an hour.
All the time.
Yeah.
What's open? What beaches are open?
Everything we could do.
Everything.
We were flying from place to place.
Yes.
We would even travel, and at that, like, we would travel 3 or 4 hours, and then we would get somewhere. We'd go find something to do.
Yes.
It was great until it was exhausting.
Yeah.
And so that's the #1 piece of advice that we would pass on to you with our experience is don't treat it like a vacation. You've got to find a pace that works for your family. Because what we realized was when we set out and we were going at that breakneck speed, literally doing something every single day. We were going to do some tourist thing, we were going to do some hike thing, we were traveling.
Restaurants, we were trying everything.
We would only stay one night in locations, going place to place. We were going to visit family. I mean, it was all really good stuff. But then it started to weigh on the kids, and it started to weigh on us.
Yeah.
And just that kind of total loss of schedule and normalcy began to make it unpleasant, even in the middle of all the fun that we were having. And so then we remember that advice that we had heard over and over again, kind of echoing in our ear.
Yes.
You can't treat it like a vacation. You've got to find a pace that works for you.
And that's so hard because most of us have planned this for months or even years, or maybe a lifetime bucket list goal that you have set for yourself. A vacation, something you've just idolized it. Kind of you put it on that shelf and you said, I can't wait until. And yet when it comes, you want to live it to the fullest. You've waited, you've saved, you've prepared, you've dreamed, and now it's here. And you just want to go as fast and as furious and soak every minute of every single day out of it. And that is so fun. And I am a go-getter. I am the crazy fun part of this equation. And so I'm always looking for what's at this place, where's a fun place to eat, where should we go shopping, what should we ride, what should we do. And so I was every day, day and night, looking for fun things to do. I was researching, and we were waiting with bated breath for COVID to open up so that we could start our adventure. We felt like we'd been sidelined. But you know what? We came across something really important, which was Mother's Day. And sometimes those very big kind of holidays or traditions that your family has, you start to just kind of contemplate. And it was a really different one. It was wonderful, but it was different. And I remember that night just saying to Jay, I'm really struggling today. Not because of any particular thing, but what I realized is we've just been going so hard and so fast that we'd lost who we were as a family. We really were. And we even talked about this to a couple of friends of ours, saying, kind of pray for us, because I feel like who we are and the fabric of our family is starting to unravel. Because you see, we were going so much that we were losing morning time devotions, or prayer as a family, or prayer as a couple, or just those opportunities to talk to each other throughout the day, checking in with our kids, playing a board game, watching a family movie. All of that was sidelined for this one particular fast and furious lifestyle. And that's what happened. It all came together on Mother's Day, because you see, I saw how exhausted we all were, and things just weren't working out like we thought. And a very wise friend told us at the 3-month mark, it kind of comes from vacation to reality. And when those two worlds collide, it can be very difficult. And we hit that collision. It was right about that 3-month mark, another piece of advice we were given. And thankfully, because of that advice, we realized our pacing was off. And so we decided the next morning we loaded up and we went to the beach.
What do you got there? Kiddos, what you got?
Donuts.
They're made out of ducks?
Yep.
Joe, what kind you got? Chris, what you got?
I got chocolate with with an Oreo topping, and then we have a fudge drizzle.
Nice. Sky.
I got a maple bacon donut with a sea salt caramel drizzle.
Whoa.
You see, the beaches had opened, and that for us is a family destination. It is something we've done every single year. We gather together no matter what our lives are doing, and we head to Myrtle Beach and we spend some time just as family. We don't go out to dinner. We take our stuff with us and we cook, we grill out. We don't go anywhere. We don't go out to ice cream. We don't go on different types of mini golf or anything. We do something very different. We just stay together as a family. We laugh, we rest, we recharge, and we rejuvenate. And that is what we did. And that changed the whole trajectory, is saying, number one, what's important to us as a family, we need to get back to that, renew those dedications to what makes us us, this crazy family and your crazy family, and also to do something that's a tradition, something that's important to us as a family, that keeps us connected, recharges us, and sends us back out with a renewed mindset and a renewed focus.
Yeah, so it's funny that in the middle of your vacation, you went on vacation.
You don't think about that.
But that's the truth, is it wasn't a vacation. It was a vacation from this full-time RV life.
Right.
And those are two very different things.
Yeah.
Slowing down and taking that time to focus on family was so important. And so for us, like Francis said, it's always been the beach.
Yes.
And so that's what it looked like again. And so we went this time to Ocean Lakes Family Campground in Myrtle Beach. It was amazing.
It's awesome.
Our daughter and future son-in-law came, and so we had all 10 of us.
5 adults, 5 kids, and 2 dogs and a turtle crammed in this camper, but we didn't care. We were at the beach.
We didn't have a lot of space, but we had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We spent the time out on the beach. There's so many amenities at Ocean Lakes. This place was unbelievable. I think one of the things that I really kind of connected with it and so loved about it, and especially for this moment for us, was that it has literally its roots in family RVing.
Yes, it does.
The story of the campground is there was this husband and wife who he was a fabric salesman and she was a seamstress, and so she started making clothes. They had 5 daughters, and so they made clothes for their daughters. And so he said, you know what, this is a great combination. I'm gonna go travel around the nation and sell this fabric. You sew the clothes, our daughters will model it. We need a way to do that. And so they converted one of the first bus conversions. This is like
so
forever ago.
cool.
Yeah, they converted a bus into an RV and went and traveled around and did that. And then when they got done with that, all their family, daughters had grown up and left. They started this campground with like 30 sites right on the beach. And today, I think it's 310 acres. There's like 3,500
right on the beach.
Sites. It's huge. You can't think of an amenity that you would want that they don't have. It's by far the biggest campground. Actually, it is the biggest campground on the East Coast, and I think one of the top 5 in the nation. And so it was the biggest campground we'd ever been to.
Yeah.
The most stuff that we'd ever had. I mean, there was stuff everywhere. And so it was great because we never had to leave the compound.
Never left the
We got
compound.
a water park, we got the beach, we got ice cream, we got a restaurant, we got a little store, we got fishing in the ponds. Laundry,
huge, like 50 washers and dryers. This place knows what it's doing.
Biggest RV laundromat we've ever been
I
in.
loved
Is
it.
it bad to be envious of an RV laundromat?
Yes.
It was pretty amazing.
Loved that.
And so that's what we did for a solid week.
10 days, actually. 10 days we stayed and enjoyed our family, refocused, and it was absolutely wonderful for us.
And during that time, we sat down a
Yes.
couple of evenings in bed, we got the computer out, and we said, let's take what we've learned now and let's redo our schedule going forward. Let's get back to the things that we said were important. Let's control our pace, make sure that we've got downtime and family time every single week. And that sounds so crazy because we spend 24/7 with our family.
Yeah, but
there's a difference
in
going and doing touristy thing after touristy thing and sitting around on the couch watching a movie.
And I think intentionality would be a good word for that, right? Of being intentional with the things that make your family and our family, and not letting our days run us and the schedule run us, but for us to, as Jay and I say, put the big rocks in first and then fill in all the fun things, but make sure that the really important things stay the really important things, because we were losing who made us, what made us us, and what we loved about our family was absolutely unraveling before our eyes, even when we're living our dream life, even when it looks like an epic adventure. In the middle of that, you really can lose some very important things that make you and us our families.
So we would definitely pass that on again to you and ask you not to ignore it like we did. Hopefully you can learn it earlier than 4 months in, 3 months in, is to control that pace and make sure that you're not treating it like a 12-month vacation. That you're controlling that family time and being intentional. And you know, for us, I think that's something that God had taught us already that we should have been listening to. You know, from the very beginning, God set up a Sabbath. He created for 6 days, and on the 7th he rested. And he didn't just do that for him. He passed that on as a command to us, because he knew the way that he created us, that we can't just go. We can't work 24/7. We have to have that downtime, and he knew that, and that's the beauty and the gift of a Sabbath. And I think we needed to take that principle into RVing, making sure that there was time when we were stopping, we were breathing, we were taking a break from whatever that norm is to simply rest in each other, rest in him. And we should have known that from the beginning, but we've learned it now, and we hope that this will help you learn it before we did. Don't make the same mistake we did.
Take the advice and go forward, knowing from what us newbies learned, don't let this happen to you.
So go out and enjoy your crazy family adventure.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much, crazy friends, for joining us today. So if you don't want to miss any more videos, be sure and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you can stay connected with us no matter what. And also, don't miss our last video, which is a Q&A of our 1,000 subscriber celebration. It's awesome. So make sure you click on that. And as always, the best compliment you can give us is a big thumbs up. See you next time, guys.